Hey, I'm Matt from SpineFit. Now, well done on downloading the 5 alarming worst exercises to do when you're returning from a back injury. So I'm going to go through these exercises in quite a bit of detail. Now, be sure to click on our one-time offer below. It's exclusive just for you guys. It's our 16-day bulletproof back program. It's going to take the guesswork out of your training. It's going to be the next step to your rehab and to you gaining confidence to getting back to doing what you love. So keep watching for the next few minutes while I go through each of these 5 exercises and explain the reasons why they might not be so great right now, and if they can be great in the future, and what are some alternatives that you can do right now that are a bit safer to build your confidence back up after you've been back in the gym. So I want to remember there's no such thing as a wrong exercise. It's just prescribed maybe at the wrong time or might not be suitable for your body right now after an injury or a back issue. So let's take that into account as we take a look at these exercises. Okay, so we're going to look at a hip hinge first or a traditional barbell deadlift. So a lot of the time people I see in the gym are just doing this incorrectly, and it's very common for people to overextend their back or get a rounded posture like this when they're doing them. They often go too heavy, they do it too early when their body's not ready for it, and their form and correct technique is just not there. So it's pretty common to see people round their back as they come down and then potentially even overextend at the top. So this is causing more harm than good currently at the moment. So it can be a fantastic exercise if it's done properly. Okay, we want to maintain our neutral spine. Okay, and we can use other tools, not just a barbell. So I'm going to show you a couple of variations right now that can actually help you. So a hip hinge is just a bending or a breaking from the hips, and it's primarily targeting the back of our body, so the glutes and the hamstrings. So an alternative is starting with something on the ground and working our way back up to standing. So we can incorporate a small step or bench here, and we're just going to elevate our feet, which is going to get the back of the legs working a bit harder. So we're taking our hips and we're just extending them up and then bending at the hips again. So you can see this is actually a similar movement pattern to if I was doing it standing with a bar, except now we're in a position that's easier for our body to start with, and now we can actually feel the muscles working, and we can actually feel if this is suitable for us to restart with. Next up, we're going to be talking about the squat. Now, I'm a huge fan of the squat. When people think of squats though, they often think of a barbell squat resting on your spine. So this can add added compression through your body, and it can make things not feel so great in your lower back too. Squats are fantastic when they're done right, but a lot of the time they're done incorrectly. People might be going too low, have poor body motor control and getting into funny positions again, which we've talked about. So squats are very important for strengthening your lower body, but also great for your mobility. So let's take a quick look at some now. So the traditional bodyweight squat is something that we start with a lot of the time. So we want to just feel like you're going to a depth that's suitable. A lot of the time people are going too low and then they lose it. They get into a rounded position. A lot of the time people might not even be able to hold a neutral spine when they go down and they get rounded. So there's all these number of things that come into it. There's different progressions that you can do to help build up the weight and the effectiveness of your squat. One of the other things are the traditional back squat here. So a lot of the time you see people coming into a barbell. Okay, their body might not be ready for this. Of course, you can do them correctly. It's still adding compression through your spine, okay? But why is this one of the worst alarming exercises? Because a lot of the time when people actually do these exercises, they can't maintain a nice neutral spine as they do them. So while they're doing the squat with their bar on their back, they're going down into this rounded position, while they're going too low and their pelvis tucks under. Okay, plus the load on the shoulders, plus the incorrect technique is gonna all add up to more back pain. Okay, so we need to have a sensible approach a lot of the time to our exercises. We need to use the right progressions for the squats. A lot of the time people also have busy lives outside of the gym, so I find when they come into the gym, they're super fast. They're so fast, they move fast, they're they're agitated, they can't rest, they need to just wind it down a little bit. So we're very big on taking people through correct technique, correct speed, doing things safely, using the correct, timing. This is going to build confidence and it's going to get you much better results. So let's take a good look at a couple of squat progressions now, or alternatives that you can do to the traditional squat so that you can mostly learn to get into better positions for your body. We want to improve timing, want to improve maintaining a neutral spine, and we also want to make sure that your depth is also suitable for your body. So to start with, I'm going to get someone on this box and we're actually just going to ask them to sit down. So it's going to be a bench squat. We're literally going to stand up and sit down. Stand up and sit down. So what is this actually doing? We're training ourselves, one, to slow down. We're training ourselves to find a suitable depth. And we're also training ourselves to maintain a nice straight body and back. So stand up nice and upright. Literally just think you're sitting down and stand up again. Sit down, pause, stand up again. It's also very common for people doing a squat without a bench behind them to have an excessive forward lean. What that does is places extra pressure on your lower back. So it's amazing what happens when we just pull out a bench, we ask someone to sit down, it really cleans up their alignment quite a lot. So now I'm maintaining good neutral spine, I'm nice and upright, I'm not leaning forward too much, I'm not going too low, and this is a great way to bring the squat back into your program. Now, of course, we can make this more difficult. We can maintain, we can go lower on the height. We can put a smaller step behind us. We can hold onto a ball or a dumbbell. Okay, we can put mini bands around our knees. So all these things are part of our Spine Fit programs to get you ready to get back to a fuller version of a squat. This is going to build great strength and confidence so that you can get back to doing what you love sooner rather than later. Hey. So this is the next exercise. This is the traditional sit-up. So you might have seen people slamming out hundreds of these and saying how they've done so many sit-ups and they're working on their six-pack or working on their core strength. Now, a lot of the time, our body doesn't like that repetitive flexion. So if you think about it, when we're doing a sit-up, we're really just rounding our back quite a lot and we're putting extra pressure on those discs. So for someone that's had a back problem, we don't want to aggravate and stir up those discs and make them any more grumpy than they are. So the traditional sit-up needs to get out of our program. We need to throw it out the window and forget about it. Now there's a number of great alternatives that we can do to work on the tummy muscles and work on that beach body a little bit more too. And we work through these exercises during our Spine Fit programs. We've got loads of variations, so I'm going to give you one safe alternative right now. So by having one leg straight and one leg bent, that's locking our pelvis in its position so we actually can't tilt our pelvis, putting our lower back into an awkward position. Now we can crunch up similar to a sit-up, but we're only lifting a few centimeters off the ground, and while we're doing that, we're really pushing our lower back into the floor and contracting through the abs here. And then we can repeat. So push your lower back into the ground, squeeze those abs, add in a little pause and come back down. Now this is super controlled and super difficult if it's done correctly, and you can see that I'm minimizing flexion or rounding through my spine. I'm fully supported and I'm building great strength through the middle here. So be sure to try this McGill curl up as an alternative to your traditional sit-ups. The next exercise is done with our friend here, the kettlebell. So I've seen so many times and so many people in the gym doing kettlebell swings that are incorrect. So this should be fantastic at building the posterior strength and our glute strength as well as our body awareness. But a lot of the time, again, people are overextending, people are rounding. It looks more like a squat, so there's lots of things that people need to do to clean up this exercise to make it more effective. So let's go through it. So by pushing the hips backwards, okay, we'll maintain that neutral spine and we want minimal bend at the knees. So again, we're using our hips. We're using our hips. This is a hip hinge movement. Okay, there's not so much knee bend. It's not a squat. Okay, we're not overextending and we're not rounding. Okay, so it's super common to see people pull out something that's way too heavy. Okay, too heavy, or something that's just not suitable right now, they swing away, they add in speed, and they add in poor positions, and they cause themselves some more problems. They cause more back problems than it's actually helping them. So it's very common for this to be done incorrectly. So an alternative for this exercise is something similar to what we've been through before with the other hip hinges. Start on the floor with some glute bridges, some hip extensions, start to progress, work with a SpineFit trainer. We'll start to move through the different series of programs to help you get back to doing a full version of this if that's something that you wanted to do. Next, I'm going into an exercise that sometimes I just think why people are actually doing this. Now, they might have been told to do this from their physio or chiro for whatever reason, but it's got to do with lifting your arms and your legs up at the same time. Now, a lot of the time, this exercise, if you think about it, what is it actually doing? For me, it feels terrible on my lower back. It's really crunching my joints together, and it's really just firing up these lower back muscles. By lifting up like this, you're really causing a lot of extra unnecessary compression in your lower back. So a lot of the time people are sitting too much anyway, so I don't know why we would want to perform this and crunch our back and apply even more compression. So if it's for stability or you think you want to build strength in your lower back, there's much more effective ways to do it. So a great one that we can start with is the simple bird dog, getting onto this quadrupedal 4 position and just starting to have control with our body, maintaining our neutral spine, which means my natural curve, while I'm starting to add things in to challenge myself. So I can do arms, I can do legs, maintain the core activation, drawing in the belly button. So there's lots of drills like this we can build into our programs. You can start to advance onto the arm and the leg. These are very challenging for your core. Also strengthening those lower back muscles, but in a much less non-compression way, which is going to feel a lot more friendly on your body and your back, and it's going to be super effective. It's easy to do and it's a great substitute. So there you go, there's the 5 most alarming, worst exercises that I know of for people coming back from a back injury. So we've been through the different hip hinge exercises, the swing and the deadlift. We've been through the squats, how that can be done better, and some alternatives. We've been the funny Superman exercise that's crunching your back, okay? And we've been through that sit-up that people are doing way too much of, and they're more upper ab dominant, not working on those deeper core muscles. So go and click on the big button now and learn about our SpineFit programs. We're big on technique, getting you moving, ending that frustrating pain and getting rid of that sting of your back pain, undoing that desk-bound damage that's been hanging around for way too long. So get in touch with our trainers and coaches now, work through one of our programs and see if this is the right fit for you. So go and click on the big button now, and I'll be in touch really soon to tell you more about the programs. We're really looking forward to helping you, just like we have hundreds of others, and we look forward to seeing you in the gym soon.